Good morning. Another Mystic Quickie. Today's topic is sacrifice by request. The question was, what is sacrifice and how does it affect our spiritual life, our eternal lives? I think there's something in there also about if sacrifice was necessary. Good morning. It's Monday, August, 8th or something, 2022. And I'm Karen Thomas. I could say I'm a mystic and a healer, but really I just ask the guides for help, and I'm able to guide others to become and overcome. All right. Sacrifice is a pretty deep topic, right? We all can agree that it involves some matter of selflessness, degree of love, doing something beyond oneself. There are degrees of sacrifice, right? Like when I offer my husband the heel of the bread, I'm sacrificing because I like the heel of the bread, but I'm offering it to him. So that is a form of sacrifice, a very minute, low-end degree of sacrifice, but sacrifice nonetheless. When you work extra hours, because there's something that you want to purchase for your children, that's sacrifice, right? When you care for your elderly parents or your sickly neighbor or anyone else that needs assistance, when you do volunteer work, helping others to learn English, say, as their second language, or cleaning up the streets of garbage, you're sacrificing, right? You're sacrificing your time, you're sacrificing your energy. You are giving of your heart. And then there are all those ultimate degrees of sacrifice, right? That we all know those stories. And I don't know if any of you ever read A Tale of Two Cities. I did over 40 years ago. And to this day, the story of Sidney Carton look, I'm gonna tear up. It's so powerful, right? So Sidney Carton is the story takes place in France, I believe right after the French Revolution. And things are pretty shaky there, right? You never know who to trust, and everybody's out to get everybody and out for themselves, and it's just kind of a dangerous time. They're just learning about unionizing and about the rights of people and all that. And Sidney Carton is a street person, a criminal, doesn't care about anyone, anything. He's just always out to get whatever he can get for himself. And he happens to fall in love with, I forget her name. Really, I forget her name. But he's in love with her. And he tries and tries and tries. But although she's poor, she's of a very moral fiber and upbringing, and she's just not interested. She knows what he is, and she's absolutely not interested. And he tries and tries every trick in the book, and just she shuns him. But he's around all the time, right? Because he keeps on hoping that maybe if he sees her enough. And she gets married, and her husband, I forget why, but he gets hauled off to prison. And he is going to be executed, beheaded by the guillotine. That the famous guillotine, who created that machine because he wanted a humane way to execute people. So Sidney Carton, this self-serving, low-thinking, straight criminal person, still in love with this man's wife, goes to visit him in prison. Now, it just so happens, and we've known this all along if you read the story, it just so happens that Sydney Carton is a doppelganger to her husband. They look exactly alike. So Sydney Carton arrives at the prison and he has a surprise. He convinces her husband to exchange clothes with him. So Sydney Carton gives him the clothes he's wearing, and the husband gives his prison garb to Sydney Carton. And Sydney Carton stays in prison, and the husband leaves as if he was Sydney. And so, remember, the husband was going to be executed. And so Sydney Carton knowingly, willingly, voluntarily gives his life in exchange for this other man, because the woman that he loves is in love with this man and he wants her to be happy. You know, if the husband dies, you know, Sydney Carton has a chance again, right? Because the love of her life is gone. But he sacrifices himself. So I was thinking about that story and why it moves me so much. I think, oh, it's just a story. Victor Hugo made it up. It's a story. It's a novel. But then I realized it's not just a story, is it? Because if creation is infinite, if all the worlds of God are infinite, the universe is infinite, that means the creation of God is infinite, and the beings like you and me and what we call off-planet beings, I don't like to use some of the terms that people use, all the creatures of God are infinite. That means their stories, their lives are infinite. And somewhere in that infinity, every story is true. So, anyway, that's something to ponder, isn't it? So back to sacrifice. When I asked the guides about sacrifice, they showed, because I'm like, I know what it is, you know, consciously, but what does it mean spiritually? What does it mean energetically? And they showed me like things popping, like the fabric of the universe glowing, popping with acts of sacrifice. That actually changes the fabric. Remember, everything is connected. We are all one. And those acts of sacrifice, big and little, that they create like a bubble, a burst of this powerful light. And then I'm like, okay, but what about, the person, we'll call them Alan, that asked about sacrifice, asked, what does it do to our eternal souls? And they showed that by sacrifice, when you sacrifice, you get stamped, you get marked with God's kiss. You have like in the service, you get all those little bars, those little medals and things for, your rank and things you've accomplished. You get God's kiss, you get a mark for sacrifice. Can you imagine going through eternity with God's kiss on your forehead or on your heart, wherever it shows up, however it shows up, radiating from you? You get God's kiss. Pretty powerful. Okay, and then I asked, is there more? Because I know there's more. I can feel that there's more. And they're like, it's a mystery. So, yeah, sacrifice is a mystery. Ponder that one, if you will. As always, any questions or comments, just put them there. I'll answer you. And hit subscribe. And you're in no wise obligated, of course. Love to you.